friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hi, Levi.
Hello, Jen.
Hello, Jen.
I know that you're raring to go for some Dark Knight discussion.
I really wanted to talk about it IRL.
And now we are IRL across the recording table and talking about it.
It's similar.
It's going to be the same.
It's adjacent to real life.
Wow, that is so rude, Jen. To everyone involved.
It's adjacent. Yeah, like everybody sit in a room with all of your closest friends, right? Like pretend you're in like some kind of conversation pit or you're outside in somebody's backyard. And then sit in uncomfortable chairs, have a microphone 3 to 4 inches from your mouth at all times. You cannot move. And see how easily the conversation flows in that situation.
The chairs are fine, Jen, and you stole the cat chair.
It's my chair.
Okay.
It's my
you tell Butter
chair that I bought.
And Butter took over.
That's why there's a blanket, because it's just covered in cat hair.
Yeah, because she loves it.
I love it too.
Why don't you fight about it?
We do, kind of.
She's good.
She's good. She's in the laundry basket now, which is a suitable alternative to the chair.
Anyway, so you're in a comfy chair of your own choosing, and we're here in our conversation room about to talk about Dark Knight.
It's literally the dungeon. We call it the dungeon. And when guests come over, this is where they stay. Anyway. Yeah, so it's Dark Knight Day. Exciting times for Jen, because I did not do this.
Yeah, Jen, you played this for a bit, then fell off it at some point.
I was like, I can't. I'm not a tank. I hate tanking. The pressure to do roulettes as a tank, I just couldn't do it. I think I had like a bad experience in Cutter's Cry, and I'm like, that's enough. That's enough of that.
I think that's a very common tale, honestly, for many like support jobs. Just like one run is like, nope, I will not.
Everybody's mean to me. I don't think anybody was mean, but I think the healer was like doing the like, oh, this is a new tank, I'll just pull for you. And then they ran to the shifting sands and bailed, and I was left above ground battling for my life, and everybody else was, I don't know, it was something like that. Anyway.
Sure.
But I did like the first quest step, and then
oh wow,
like,
that is like nothing. What a tragedy until now. But it's actually good because now we get a fresh Jen to this quest line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I get a fresh Jen, please?
I don't know what you want.
I mean, you are a fresh Jen, so you can just say done.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
Thank you.
Ta-da!
Anyway, yeah. So this time you did mostly not duty support, squadrons.
Yeah. So I used my squad, my peeps. We did a bunch of command missions. I did do a couple of LDRs because after a while I felt pretty comfy. But of course, like the first LDR I got was a Hawk Manor. Which I don't know where to go in Hawk Manor, even though I've done it a billion times. I don't have to think about it as a DPS. I just don't.
Before you went solo, you and I did a few LDRs with me healing and you tanking.
Yes.
And we got Hawk Manor for one of those.
Yes.
And I was like, Jen, go this way.
And I was like, God damn it, because I didn't, I knew you could tell me where to go, but I would like.
So did you get Hawk Manor solo after that?
Oh no.
Oh, I see. So the traumatizing run was when I was there to help guide you to the correct path.
Yeah.
That the knowledge that you could not do it solo was still too much.
Yeah. Oh, remember when I told you I did an LDR and it was, Zemil Darkhold.
Yeah.
I didn't have my stance on the whole time.
And no one seemed to notice.
No one noticed. No one said anything. And it went fine. I almost said it went okay. It went okay. Like, nobody died. But I felt, again, that was another one where I'm like, oh God, we've got these, like, the rings, you get to stand in them to unlock shit. And I'm like, there's, like, some of them where you don't have to stand in them and unlock shit.
Yeah.
There was also a brand new sprout that was running it for the first time. And they were like, I want to do all the things. And I'm like, I'll be your buddy. That way I can pretend, we're both doing this for the first time. I knew where to stand. Obviously, that wasn't the issue. You stand in the stuff. But as far as like lumping mobs together in the right combination, I don't know. I'm just going by vibes and hoping the healer doesn't hate me.
There's no one single answer for A Realm Reborn dungeons. It really
And I
depends
hate
on... I enjoy it because it lets skill come through versus the prescribed 2 pulls and you must stop.
True. There was a series of pulls I got Stone Vigil also with a brand new baby and a healer. They were a pro. But I didn't want to go too fast because it's still Stone Vigil and people don't have like all the stuff, and so I'm pulling like a little bit and then like a little bit more, and then I pull a lot and then I realize there's still 2 dudes hanging out by the wall.
I hate that.
When I turn a corner, I'm like, oh,
it's like,
guess we're fighting these 2 dudes.
Right. Well, good. I'm glad you had a good experience overall, it sounds like, with
honestly,
your dungeons.
Yeah, Dark Knight is the shit. I really like it.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that.
It feels kind of DPS-y, frankly.
That is a common thought, yes.
Yeah. So, like, I'm down. As far as, like, leading people through mazes, not so good. But the buttons felt so much better. And that was a totally different experience. And I remember when I did, like, the first quest up and I struggled with, like, I hate Tank and I hate Dark Knight. I'm not doing this. I was so overwhelmed by having level 30 buttons to push.
Sure.
And not knowing the order of things. I'd never played any sort of melee, so I didn't know like, the 1, 2, 3 meta. I didn't...
Well, the good news, though, I'm sure you figured it out, is that every tank is the same at level 30. Exact same buttons. Different colors, different names, same buttons.
Y'all got like this mitt, that mitt.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
AoE, yep.
1, 2, 3, AoE.
Nice. Well, cool.
What on earth? All right, anywho.
Dark Knight.
Here we go.
Jen, the Dark Knight job first appeared in Final Fantasy II, but American players are probably more familiar with the Final Fantasy IV character Cecil, which is that game's protagonist who begins the game with the Dark Knight job, acting in service to a Dark Empire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is the Dark Empire good, or are they bad?
Well, I don't want to be so moralist about it, Jen, but the player is inclined to think that they're bad.
The world is black and white. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, is their color scheme black, red, and purple? And they're probably bad.
It is not, actually. In 14, though, as we discussed at length, Dark Knight is one of the tank jobs. Like with Paladin, it gets to use its MP as a resource during its normal rotation, so a way to use that like 1/3 utilized bar every character gets for some reason.
I got an MP regeneration button before I had a thing that actually used MP to any meaningful degree.
That's because you, I'm assuming, leveled to 50 before doing any job quest steps.
That did it.
Which is
I was
not...
like, what am I using? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
also, you have a like the siphon that also kind of refills your MP, and I'm like, I'm not using any MP ever.
Yeah,
Y'all.
It kind of sucks. I hate doing these job quests and like, okay, I'm going to do one quest step, then break for 2 days while I do like 1 LDR a day at level 30, and then do the next one. I want to play the story in sequence, so I do the same thing. It's a bummer though for these early jobs where all your progression is locked behind like the job quest steps. It makes more sense when you're playing MSQ and leveling through the MSQ because then they're spaced out, but when you're leveling subsequent jobs, you don't have anything to do besides just like run LDR once per day, unless you want to grind like squadrons or whatever.
And it wasn't a decent amount of XP, frankly, doing the command missions. I tried to do duty support. That sucks. Don't do that. Though my squad members are very stupid, duty support players or AI feel a lot smarter to me.
I
don't know if that's true. That's just my feeling.
I think so. Because duty support is programmed to do mechanics. Squadrons do not. They will tank every mechanic.
Because there's buttons, literally like your chocobo. There's buttons to tell them like, engage, don't engage.
Yep.
Leave me alone.
But I'm assuming that you felt like the DPS with squadrons was higher?
That checks out.
I don't know. I've not tested it, but there's like a DPS progression thing with squadrons that duty support is just like, hey, here we are, we're at the level.
Yeah, they've got their like proficiencies or whatever it is, the balanced, the offensive.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, just certain DPSs just did better overall as a combo.
Yes, for sure.
And then I only have the one healer in my squadron, and my God, the amount of times that bitch let me die, unreal. So I did Brave Flock's long stop 1 billion times because none of them are level 40. Well, contrary, but so the very first chunk of Brave Flock's long stop, there's like the Oppo, and then there's a couple of toucans or whatever. So I grab those guys, and then I go to grab the other Oppo, and that's where it all falls apart. Because like I walk far enough.
No, you do not double pull with AI almost period.
I was trying to force it. I was like, this is stupid.
No.
This is stupid.
I have tried that. It is a futile endeavor. Just single pull AI.
Because the range is what, 25 yards? So she stands at like 26 yards. And I have to like scooch back so that she can heal me. And even then, even when she's in range, I'm like flirting with death constantly.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, this has been the Leveling Dark Knight podcast. See you next time
we
for
can
the job
start
quest.
The story at some point.
Yes, we're still talking about mechanics though, Jen. We talked about the MP weaves. So you get, as you level the job quest, Jen, you get these weave attacks, 1 single target, 1 AoE. And this is fun because you get to control when your burst happens. Mm-hmm. I said it before, I do not like jobs that force you to always press the button on cooldown. I like being able to control when my burst happens. It lets you adapt to mechanics that are happening in the fight. And also, if you get thrown off your rhythm due to any reason, you're not like, well, fuck, I guess things are out of sync for the next minute.
Yep.
So things that let you customize when you burst, like this one, which is only limited by your MP pool, I like much more. So good stuff there. And then at level 50, you get Living Dead, which is the worst invuln in the game. And it used to be worse still.
Ooh.
So the way that it works now, Jen, is that once the invuln gets triggered, you cannot die with the invuln up. But once it's triggered, you have 10 seconds to be healed for the full amount of your health. Not your full health bar, a number that equals your total health. That can be like staggered however you want to. And your weapon skills do recover HP during this buff, so there is some cushion there. But the heal requirement is important because you can't just use this as like a cheat mechanic. If you do like a warrior and only DPS meta in deep dungeons, which I highly recommend, you can't do that with Dark Knight because you got no one to heal yourself back to full from your invuln. So it limits the flexibility of when you can deploy it. Also, it requires your healer to be attentive. If your healer is in a tunnel and don't realize it's up, then you will die after the 10-second buff expires.
Oops.
Yes. But it used to be worse, Jim, because it used to be that you had to be topped off for it to fall off.
Right. Ridiculous.
But that has been since kind of softened.
Yeah, I noticed that when I read the stuff, the tooltip.
Yep.
I was like, that seems better.
Speaking of mechanics, it's also worth mentioning gear as Dark Knight, particularly when you unlock it. Because at level 30, you get a shitty sword, shitty chest armor, and I think boots or like something down below. I don't know, boots or pants, but not both.
I brought my own, but that's okay.
So when you get sent out into the world as a baby Dark Knight, do not queue for LDR first thing like you're tempted to because that gear is inadequate for doing dungeon pulls. Every single Heaven's Ward job gets the same kind of shitty kit, but there's more flexibility and more forgiveness and DPS and healer, especially DPS in terms of what they bring to the table. But as a Dark Knight, you cannot do wall pulls with your starting gear unless your healer works hella overtime. So buy yourself some cheap gear off the market board or off a vendor or something. Just put something adequate in those slots. You'll get more from drops later on, but do not go in with your 2-piece armor set. And I get anxious every time I queue for LDR, end up in a low-level dungeon and see a Dark Knight there.
Oh no!
Because I'm like, oh shit, are they a baby? Are they brand new? Do they have the chest and sword combo? And I've gotten those as healer, and it is rough, Jen. So, PSA, gear your Dark Knight. In future expansions, future tank jobs, or jobs singular, they give you proper gear to begin. But in Heaven's Ward, they do not. That's all I got for the mechanical generalities. Let's talk about Dark Knights in Eorzea. Yeah. Dark Knights are the anti-hero job. They go outside the law and often defy the law to protect those who have been failed by or preyed upon the law and or justice system. We don't learn a lot about the job's history in the course of this job quest, but the Encyclopedia Eorzea has a detailed account. This job began with a single defiant deed, and I think just quoting the entry is going to be easiest, but there is a content warning in this entry. This is only an implied act, but the implication is dark, so if you want to keep your mental palate clean, just skip forward 1 minute. And here we go.
What the hell?
In the year 960 of the 6th Astral Era, a commoner by the name of Trifaniel the Unshod was granted knighthood for acts of valor upon the battlefield. A young man with an unwavering sense of justice, Trifaniel's desire to champion the cause of the lowborn was undiluted by his entrance into the privileged world of the nobility. It was the same moral fortitude that bid him trail after a clergyman after witnessing the robed figure drag a squirming child from the alleys of the Broom. The knight's suspicions were confirmed when he entered the secluded domicile of the priest, only to find him committing unspeakable acts upon the body of the abducted waif. Noticing his unexpected visitor, the clergyman attempted to explain away his vile actions as a form of exorcism, but the incensed Trifaniel drew his sword without hesitation and answered the babbled excuses with a single fatal blow.
Nice.
Rather than praise his heroism, however, the knight's peers condemned him for slaying a holy member of the church. He was forced to defend his life in a trial by combat, but though he survived, it was decreed that he would be stripped of his knighthood. Unflinching in the face of accusations that he had fallen to darkness, Trifaniel roared that he would gladly surrender a title that required him to turn a blind eye to a child's suffering. He cast aside his crested shield, the symbol of his station, and continued his crusade for the common folk with no thought or fear for what others held taboo. His righteous deeds inspired some courageous few to embrace the path of the forbidden, and thus the legacy of the Dark Knight was born.
Yeah.
So that is the legacy of the job, Jen.
Checks out.
And now we begin the job quest. A detail about this quest, which many people probably don't know, is that there is a side narrative that unfolds within the text of your quest log. This helps to frame your character's take on whatever events are happening, so I'll be weaving in quotes from the journal as appropriate today.
Okay.
Jen looks confused.
Couple things.
Yeah.
I got a pop-up on my computer that was like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, what? And then what you were saying also. So those things.
You may recall that when you press J or your preferred journal hotkey, it pops up a list of all your quests. And if you click on said quest, it will give you a summary of the events that led you to the current quest step.
Right.
They are more verbose in the olden days. In current content, they are very brief, and it makes me frustrated because sometimes I forget what I was doing after a break and I don't get helped by the quest log anymore.
Yeah.
But back in the day, back in the Heaven's Word times, Jen, they would write a summary of the narrative for you, and the summary of the Dark Knight quest steps is not what unfolds on screen necessarily. This is like your character's account of what's going on in their mind during each step.
Interesting.
Yes. So again, those are added context for how this quest plays out.
Very good.
Very good. Next, after some discussion, we have decided to talk about the plot twist of the Dark Knight questline at the start of today's episode. We are doing so because knowledge of what's to come recontextualizes a lot of the early events, and listeners have presumably played through the questline organically once, so they know the twist. If you have not done so, I highly recommend you sign off here and play through the Dark Knight questline organically to experience the story firsthand. Even if you don't like playing as a tank, do some leveling with your squadron or with duty support just to see the job quest. Strong recommend. You have been warned, there will be spoilers out of order today to aid in the discussion.
Indeed.
As a final aside before we begin, I expect that we'll be doing a lot of direct quotes today, Jen, because this is a very well-written quest.
Yeah.
And the writer said many things probably in the best way possible, so I think we'll be deferring to their prose versus our summary of such.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
And Jen, after playing this again, this quest line still ranks as my favorite job quest in the game.
It's real good.
It's real good, so please enjoy.
Okay, so here we are in Foundation, right? We find a well-dressed citizen outside of the tribunal, and they speak to us of an impressive display they witnessed during a trial. A heretic was swinging a great sword with such intensity they fought like a demon from the deepest pits of the seventh hell. He had never seen anything like it, and couldn't classify the fighting style, if you could call it that. Then he overheard someone say, "Ooh, it must be a dark night." And being the warrior we are, we press him for more details on this dark night stuff, but he's wary. Apparently there's an inherent blasphemy associated with the designation. The man fought like he was possessed, like he was feeling no pain, the well-dressed citizen continued. The blood eventually covered his entire body until it rose from him like a mist. And when the temple knight battling him finally ran him through, the crowd screamed in both triumph and relief. No man should wield such a power, he says. His corpse will be dumped in the broom, picked over and thrown over the walls by morning. It'll be like he never existed. Just like this conversation. So, well, yeah, we're going to go take a look at this dead body. The Temple Knights, they are currently standing over the corpse they have just dumped in the broom. And they make a hasty exit so those of us in range can start working on it. I mean, we're hovering like a fucking seagull right within, so like, okay, we're going to go. They're already here ready to pick his pockets. We examine the body.
The body, Jen. This is a person fully garbed in thick leathers and brassy plate, wearing a spike-crowned helm. We see something gleaming by the body, a job crystal.
Ooh, that's for us. We
reach for it, and a reddish dark energy surges from the corpse. We clutch our head and hear words. Is this it? Is this all that awaits? No, no more. Enough. Open your eyes, look. Do you see now? According to our journal, these words are said by a strangely familiar voice, which I take to mean is our voice saying these.
Yes.
Our darkest inner thoughts, amplified by the job crystal, give voice to that which we conceal, suppress, or otherwise set apart from our public self. Maybe we're wondering if this is the fate that awaits us for striving to reach above the rest, being dumped in the broom by some temple knights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Our vision fades, and when our eyes open, we see the fallen Dark Knight, now seemingly alive and well, standing over us, eyes glowing bright through his visor slits. Jen, some stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
First off, with the full spoiler disclosure at the start, this is a darkness and or job crystal fueled hallucination ultimately.
We made a little baby primal for ourselves.
Primal is a charged word, but sure. I mean, either way.
Yeah, it is.
In reality, the body is still slumped on the ground, though we no longer can see this person on the ground.
Yeah.
Also, Jen, I believe that this person, their gender changes based on your player character's gender.
Yeah.
For me, it has a male pronoun. And assuming for you, a female pronoun?
I really didn't pick up on a pronoun at all until the very end. And I was like, oh shit. For some reason, I really had to fight throughout this whole thing to keep the pronoun neutral. Because for some reason, I desperately wanted to refer to them as she. I don't know why. Like, I had to fight it.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't immediately apparent.
Well, you shouldn't have, because it was correct for you.
It was correct for me.
Yeah, but the quest log is much more pronoun heavy, so you see them being gendered from the start pretty much.
I see, okay.
Anyway, so this person, this risen corpse, says to us, I've been waiting for you to open your eyes. Name's Frey, by the way. And no, I'm not a heretic. Try convincing a temple knight drunk on authority of that, eh? But how about you? You touched it, yes? That couldn't have felt good. Meaning the jobstone. We presumably say that we heard a voice when we touched it. And Frey responds, a voice? A rather distressed one besides. But before we can converse further, we're interrupted by a distressed shout from elsewhere in the broom. We move to go help, but Frey stops us. We need to talk about what's happening to you, what's growing within you, before we get carried away, before you get carried away. There's a darkness within us all. Nothing dangerous, mind. In fact, it's quite healthy. But the crystal changes you, gives you the power to channel it, and Frey's eyes now glow orange momentarily. So go ahead, ask me to teach you. Ask me to instruct you in the ways of the Dark Knights, and I will. This is kind of like us signing ourselves over to what's to come. We walk into this willingly, maybe naively.
naively, but maybe also we're yearning for some sort of catharsis in this way.
Yes.
And it's interesting that like all of our the cumulative experience of our life thus far, this is when we're like, I gotta exercise this.
Yeah.
Like right now. Which I think after like where we are in the story of Heaven's Word, it like this is kind of perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna have more about that subject in a moment once we do the thing, Jen.
Yeah.
But I have some words on that matter.
Sure. Sure you do. Yeah, I bet you do.
Weird.
Anyway, so there's this cry for help, and Frey understands that we can't let a scream for help linger, so they keep the overview brief. Dark Knights don't concern themselves with prestige or pedigree. They choose whom to protect and punish. The law of the land? The authority of a name? No, these are tools cowards use to escape harm. We have no need of shields, figurative or literal. Then they hand over their sword and their crystal are now ours. So to preface, this is Jen talking. At this point in the quest line, I felt the need to say this. It is not possible for me to convey the absolute coolness, the unapologetic badassery that is Frey.
Hey, Jen,
Right
that's
now.
you being badass, though.
What? So, we are ready to explore what it means to be a Dark Knight. They speak of the wellspring of strength the darkness within can provide, but at a cost. They share an anecdote, or perhaps a fable, both. A venerable, untouchable man commits unspeakable sins against a child, but he walks free. And if he remains free, how many more will suffer? There was a knight, they knew, was faced with this dilemma, knowing that if he took justice into his own hands, he risked his title. And I think that's our friend that you just talked about.
Yes.
The threshold we refuse to cross is a line we draw for ourselves. We fear the consequences, and people suffer for our indecision. So all who held the crystal I now bear faced that fear and crossed over the threshold to become who they wanted to be. And we're told to keep that in mind as we investigate the commotion in the broom. We find an older woman. She is despondent. Her granddaughter was giving sass to a temple knight, and they dragged her away. The subtext here is horrifying. Frey understands what will happen to the young girl if we don't intervene. And if she doesn't fight, they may let her go after. Or we can run in, beat the shit out of all of them, and rescue her. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Yeah, we'd like that. So we head to the tribunal. And the reason why we're going to the tribunal, Frey was like, they're either going to take her to the congregation of our knights most heavenly, whatever, or the tribunal. They're not going to take her to the congregation because Sir Emmerich is emphatically anti this criminality. So they're going to take her to the tribunal instead. But so we go to the tribunal and we're met with, like, there's a group of knights there. They've got this maid surrounded.
We're not there yet. We're on the way. Yeah, we're on the way. We're in the pillars now. Yeah.
So we come across them and they're, this girl, she's a teenager. She's given them the business, all right, which is fantastic. And they're like, you little bitch, et cetera, et cetera. Frey warns us that we can't just go in demanding that they hand over the girl. Because if we do that, they're going to be like, you take a step towards us and the girl dies or whatever. We're trying to eliminate the girl as like a bargaining chip. So we need to make it clear that we are there for them and them only. Once it's understood, the girl isn't our concern. They'll either attack us or they're going to flee. Like, wow, savvy.
And with that coaching done, with that guidance from Frey, we set about our bloody business. We have just one great sword between the two of us. Frey tells us to keep it. Convenient.
Convenient.
Yep.
Yeah, this is some serious, like, Tyler Durden shit.
Yeah, no, it's great. And Frey acts as a conjurer during the team-up segments in this quest line.
Also convenient.
Which is good. It appears that he's healing you or whatever during this if you're playing for the first time.
Yeah, he assumes the posture
but
of conjury.
It's some combination of your actions and like the soul crystal and whatever else is going on inside you, your darkness, that's really doing all the stuff. The healing that you receive, whatever other chip damage he does, it's all you enacting this. And he's just presenting a facade of participation.
Or we're projecting that onto yeah.
Also, his conjurer's wand is fucking metal, Jen.
It's so gnarly.
Yeah, I love it.
It's like it's messed up.
So Frey explains that when things turn violent, we may need to tap into our dark side to survive. One word, dark side. Oh. Fear, pain, rage. That which lies in the deepest depths of our soul makes for a potent fuel. But be warned. Burn too much too quickly, and you risk being consumed. And this is going to manifest very soon, actually, in a literal sense.
Literally, which is fantastic. We're not there yet. We'll get there when we get there.
So with our plan set, we walk up to this group of temple knights who are threatening their captive maid, and Frey opens up with a weary challenge. If I had a gil for every time I had to kill an unrepentant bastard like you. And this is us saying this to them.
Yeah.
This is great because what I think is the key to this quest line, Jen, it does not land for everyone, but I think it lands for many people, which is it taps into the player as well as the character.
Oh, 100%.
It's like how many fucking speed bump guys like, oh, let's go fight. And then we like whack them twice and they're dead. It's like, great, one more fucking piece of shit that is going to get rolled over in 2 seconds. And we say that. And this shocks the Temple Knight who is not used to our kind of lip.
I beg your pardon.
What the? Are you threatening a Temple Knight?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Oh, you're very clever, says Frey. Yes, I am.
Oh my God. I love that my character is saying this shit. You know, it gets a little intense later on. Again, we're exercising stuff. But right now, I'm like, fuck yes. Like, oh, aren't you clever? You think I give a shit? Boom, let's fight. Like, you know.
Yep.
Come at me. I know you won't.
So our guy with the captive retreats and sicks his squad on us, who we cut down with no problem.
Easy peasy.
And Inishgardian infantry calls for reinforcements, screaming, bring
she's
everyone.
Gone mad!
Now, to even our odds, we tap into that inner darkness, and the aforementioned dark flames appear around us.
Behold!
We drink deep and proceed.
So we've got pools of dark flame, you know, purple flame, bad flame, dark flame. And we enter them and they hurt, but they also give us hella boosties. So we sit in 3 of these, and the third one we are brought to our knees for like 5 seconds. This is the warning. Remember?
Yes.
Too much darkness, it's gonna hurt you, maybe worse. So we immerse ourselves in the flames.
If you care, there's like a mini game to play with these things, and you don't need to understand it to complete this segment, but there's a stacking damage buff that stacks up to 5, and then a stacking short duration magical vuln up that stacks to 3. And if you cap the vuln debuff, that's when you like fall to your knees. You can kind of keep it going for a bit. You don't want to drink every flame if you're playing this optimally. Does not matter.
Yes. Yeah, you can just maintain that boost for a while once you figure out the meta. I just thought, well, they're giving me all these flames to stand in, so I'm going to stand in all the flames. And then I died.
Oh, did the flames kill you?
Yeah, you fail the duty.
Oh, holy shit.
You're like, boom. And I was already inside the tribunal, so I had to like start all over.
I had no idea that they could kill you. I stopped when I was like, okay, my guy's falling over.
I'm like, I'm not dead, motherfucker. Let's just keep
Until
going.
I'm supposed
to get rid of all these
flames.
Well,
yeah, you got warned, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but also it's like a game and they're presenting these things that I have to stand in, so I'm going to stand in them. You know, I'm a rule follower.
That's fantastic. The rule, Jen, is not to drink too deep.
I did, and look what happened.
You broke the rules and you paid the price.
Dead.
We carve our way through half the pillars to the tribunal, and we cut our way inside. And we fell all the temple knights in sight. When the dust settles, Frey calls out a challenge to the now empty halls. The next knight who bears steel, I'm not only going to kill him, I'm going to kill his wife, his friends, and burn his God's damned house down. Those of you who yet live, remember this horror, and know that should you speak of it, it shall be visited upon you 100-fold.
Oh my God, I can imagine Well, at the time I imagined Frey screaming this.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. But it was me.
Yes. Little Lala.
The next night who bears steel, I'm not only going to kill him, I'm going to kill his wife, his friends, and burn his goddamned house down. And those of you who yet live, remember this horror. And know that should you speak of it, it shall be visited upon you again 100-fold. Like, I'm so mad. I am so frustrated. I have been stewing on this since the 6th astral era. But at the time, I'm like side-eyeing Frey. I'm like, oh, okay, simmer down. That's actually really kind of a red flag what you're doing.
So we take a moment to check in with our now freed maid, and she is grateful. She is like, those bastards had it coming.
Fuck yeah, they did.
And Frey encourages us too. Feels good, doesn't it? Strange maybe, but a good strange, I'll wager.
Oh boy.
You tapped into something primal, a power nestled within you, yearning to be free. And now Frey sends us on our way to practice our arts. Once we are ready, we are to return to where we first met. But I want to camp out on a few things before then, Jen.
Well, I got some before
Great,
we move
let's
on.
hear that.
Because there's a, we're entering unexplored territory. The
Please.
risks involved. The risk involved in inviting the darkness will increase. But if we place our trust in Frey, we can continue. Do we trust them? And the game gives you a prompt. Like, yeah, you seem cool. But also, I don't know. And I chose, I don't know. Just referencing the red flag shit she was yelling. Frey appreciates our honesty. She's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Good, smart, even. Great. But think about it, okay? And then come see me in the room when you're ready.
And you do. So every time we're told to return to Frey, we find him, I'll use my phrase pronoun here. We find him waiting for us in the same spot in the broom, and we get confirmation in the final quest step that that body is here the entire time. So we're appearing...
literally standing next to this corpse that continues to decay, and we're talking to it.
Yes, and we're talking for it as well, presumably.
We are broken right now.
Yes. Anyway, Jen, going back to the point you had raised earlier about when to play this quest line, we just killed a fuck ton of Temple Knights. And we had a discussion in the old Discord a while back about when it makes the most sense to play the Dark Knight quest line. And though you may be tempted to hit that blue quest immediately upon entering Ishgard, the opening of this quest does not make much sense then. In terms of our character's arc, I feel like there's a disillusionment about Ishgard's government that takes place over the Heavensward story.
Correct. You need to get to a point where you're starting to see the what's the term?
There are many terms for what you're saying.
Correct.
The cracks form, the veil fall.
It's something. One of those
scales fall from my eyes.
Yeah, you're seeing the more tarnished bits.
Yes, and we get our kind of first bit of that when we're first accused of heresy.
Oh right, and we have to battle to the death or whatever.
But
even then,
yeah,
you're like, okay, well, it's just like this one jerk.
Yeah.
And then you slowly realize that this is systemic.
A city of jerks. But in the MSQ, we have literally just crossed a line with our assault on the vault. And going full-on murder frenzy on the Temple Knights prior to the vault feels out of character, both in terms of our actions, even under the influence of this thing, but also in terms of the city itself. You don't get to murder knights across half of the high-class upper area, the pillars.
Yeah, and
there'll be no witnesses, and every single night we threaten is like, oh, okay, I'll say nothing. Like, it doesn't make sense, logistically speaking, that we can get away with this act, especially in our shitty, like, chest plate and pants that we get from Frey. We don't even have, like, a helm in the standard issue Dark Knight set to hide our identity. We're, like, walking around in our underwear or whatever with, like, a breastplate. And
gone mad, all right.
Yeah, right. But it just doesn't make sense for this to be able to happen and not have consequences from the first quest step.
Yeah. So doing this at this point, post vault feels so much more correct and satisfying.
Yep.
Because you do feel righteous when you're doing this shit.
And we're already a criminal too.
Yeah, so fuck it.
Yeah, pile it on. Why not? Yep. So moving on, we return to Frey.
So there's a question. She's like, you got questions? I got answers, maybe. So I ask, what was that voice I heard? the weird, but it's not Heidelin because I recognize her. But Frey can explain only a little bit that it's sort of a beacon calling out to Dark Knights starting their journey. Whose voice it is, she can't say. Only that by communing with our dark side will the voice become clearer. And then these communion rites, she mentions, have to be performed beyond the watch of the Holy See, obviously. So we're going on a little field trip to Little Alamigo, randomly.
Or not.
So the communion rites, this is a ritual we will do at every quest step. Frey explains they are simple. We vibe with the darkness to better channel it in battle. But first, we must do them a favor. We must do her a favor. We need to work on that so I know. She wants to see us kill something. Something that'll push us to our limits. So that she can watch us thrive in that moment and know we are ready to commune. So, for a pro tip on a nearby ferocious beasts to help us take it to the limit, we speak to our friend Gundobald. Gundobald, if you recall, we helped him out with the youths back in the day who were trying to summon Ralger, I think.
Yeah.
So the kids had gotten got by an Ascian, and they were like, yeah, you can summon Ralger and get Alamigo back, and it's going to be great. And the kids were just like, they're real mad. They're angry that they have to live in this hovel. They're mad they got kicked out of their country, etc., etc. So Gundobald was like, he's like the elder. He's like the chieftain of Little Alamigo. Anyway, we had to really earn his trust, and we did. We helped him out with the kids. It's great. So we go see him, and he's like, hey, welcome back. Thanks again for all of your help with the troubled youths. At the time, they were beyond his grasp, and it seemed to him at the time anyway. Despite him being able to see the anger burning within them, and you can sense a burning within us as well. We share the same look, and I'm like, oh, embarrassing. we tell him like, well, we're here to seek the darkness, and he doesn't pretend to know what that means, but
yeah, whatever you say.
He's like, oh, sounds good. I wish you well. So he does have a pro tip on the stuff. He gives us a giant hunk of aldgoat meat. It's literally the size of me. We're going to use this to lure out a feisty peisty.
Jen, a quick break for a journal entry here. Quote from the journal, from our journal. It saddens you to see how weak and complacent Gundobald has grown, and how his cowardice has spread amongst his people. They fear to tread near the lairs of mere Peisties, but you do not.
Oh my goodness. He says that too. He's like, there's a nest in the Red Labyrinth of some feisty Pisces. We don't go over there because they're kind of dangerous. And
sure, it's more that our character is like, I despise you.
We are so done. Like, we don't believe that, but like, just again, this is the poison. This is the darkness. That's interesting context. So, all right. So we go out to the Red Labyrinth. We put down the Elgoat meat. We fight a thing. It goes down in like 3 hits. Not a challenge in any way, shape, or form. But Frey is satisfied nonetheless. Now it's time for communion. So Frey instructs us into like a sort of trance. Listen to my voice. Listen to your heartbeat. And soon we hear the voice again, calling from the abyss, 1 foot in front of the other, over and over again, to the ends of the world and back again. And if time has no end, still forward and onward, over and over again. This sounded really like someone speaking about like the futility of existence, the monotony of it all. And like, it's not like it's mysterious, but it reads as like, this is a bummer. When we tell Frey what it is that we heard, she's like, that really doesn't mean much to me, but I'm sure in time we will come to understand its meaning and its will. And in some cases, the voice belongs to someone whom the Dark Knight is fated to seek out. We may have a very long journey ahead of us, she cautions. But we're like, oh, a long journey? I love those.
Or do we?
Exactly. So Frey's like, oh, okay, well, your enthusiasm for the journey is going to prompt another anecdote from me. There was a woman she knew long ago who dreamt of becoming a knight and doing great things. And she did. The songs always end there. But life doesn't, does it? There are temptations more deadly than the dark side, Otis. Me. You should have learned this by now, but you haven't. You will. And
all
with
right.
that, our lesson is over.
A lot to talk about, Jen. So first off, what is the communion?
So this is where we basically attune to Frey. We attune to the darkness. We really, we reach in and we want to touch it and kind of coax that voice within us to closer to the surface.
Sure. There's a lot to read into here, and I can't tell how much is the fiction versus just the way these quest lines progress, but there is a empowering of Frey every time you do this because the next quest step, they get more intense. Our actions under the influence get more overt.
Ramps up.
So is this just a thing that's running alongside us? It could be both. This quest is very meta, in my opinion, so it could very well be that it is leaning into the quest structure as we are taking on acts that deepen this thing's hold on us.
It's weird because it's a great exploration of our character in a totally different way. It's a different side of our character, but at the same time, it is still kind of like breaking the fourth wall. It's very self-aware about how these quest steps go at the same time. So I'm like, I'm loving all of this.
The communion happens after we do some sort of monster fight, but I don't think that these challenges, this one and the ones to follow, are really about us fighting a tough monster to power it up whatsoever. I think it's supposed to be more that the chore, the repetition is what brings out our darkness. We're doing one more bullshit chore.
Well, in the next quest step, that is...
Yeah, that gets hammered in further.
It's just...
It feels more like, let's make you resent what you're doing, and that is what lets the darkness take hold of you. It's not that killing something is what gives it power.
It's just that, that pattern, it's kind of like... It's Pavlovian at this point. So we understand that, and we want to we're reaching down into that frustration on purpose.
But there's also, of course, there's another rhythm to these quest steps too, which is that they are in the places that major plot events have taken place during the A Realm Reborn MSQ. And my other theory about this quest line is it's a bit of a condemnation in a sense of A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
Not in a derogatory sense so much as in the tropiness and the jank of the story and the flow, because there's so much of the shit that this quest line rages against built into A Realm Reborn especially.
Yes.
Okay, we've gone through all this shit. We've done the patches. I'm sick to shit of killing 5 Pisces or whatever the fuck to progress the storyline. I want to move on with my life, but I can't because you keep on dragging me back to escort the Domans.
Yeah. To fetch quests.
To do fetch quests. Do the cut content
for randos.
Adventurer Guild in Mordona. So many little errandy shits for us, the Primal Slayer. And this is getting ahead of ourselves here, but we are forced to toil long after our star has risen. This quest kind of points the finger at that and what we as a player are forced to go through. But anyways, so we go to these places where these things happened, and it seems like Frey wants to reignite our memories of these places to highlight the burden that our legacy and our deeds have foisted upon ourselves. And of course, we then hear the voice stronger each time we commune inside of us, the voice being most likely us. And this is our weary, frustrated thoughts. And we do exactly what the voice says. We press forward to the ends of the earth and back again. And if time has no end, or if maybe the game keeps getting more expansions indefinitely, you still press forward and onward over and over again to the next distant horizon, to the next end of the earth until it gets widened further still.
Yeah.
Is this a burden? That's in the eye of the beholder. But these dark thoughts say yes. As long as there's a horizon, we are forced to cross it and to do the great deed and then to return and then to repeat again. There's no escape from this role that we've made for ourselves.
Yeah, this does read as slavery in a way.
And in the quest journal, quote, "In the abyss, a wanderer's voice sings to you, forever moving without rest or respite." Final bit of unpacking, Jen. Frey's friend. We hear many anecdotes about a friend from Frey. Twist, it's us.
It's us.
The quote again from Frey is, "I knew a man, woman, once. wanted to be a hero, do great things, and so he did. The songs always end there, but life doesn't it? There are temptations more deadly than the dark side. These temptations are open to interpretation, of course, but for me, take it to mean the role that we have cast for ourselves is now a prison.
Yeah.
Sure, we became a hero, and that's great, but now what do we do besides doing the thing that we did before? Life goes on, obviously, but what life is that if we do not want to keep doing the same thing we've done time and time again? A lot more about this as we go on, but this is kind of the track that's being laid so far. Please proceed, Jen.
So, time passes. Frey now sends us to the burning wall. You know what you must do. Like, kill stuff for the voyeuristic pleasure of our angry friend? Yes. So after we slay a couple axe beaks, Frey asks if we're resentful. Do you resent having to do this bullshit? Yeah? Yeah? Do you resent me for asking you to do it? Yeah?
Yeah,
great.
Jen,
all right, like work with that.
When I was playing this just yesterday, actually, it's been a long time for me since my first playthrough. I had forgotten the rhythm of this quest, and when he was like, okay, go kill 2 axe beaks, I do so, and they go down in 3 hits, of course.
Right.
And I'm like, I as a person, as a player, am thinking, is even the Dark Knight quest making us fight random trash-ass monsters as combat filler?
What the fuck?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
And no.
Because we know you hate it.
And Frey immediately calls out my thoughts after I had them right afterwards.
Spooky.
Got him.
So great. Yeah. So basically she's like, you know what? Yeah, let that resentment simmer. And we'll use that. We'll use that for the communion. Yeah. So let's go back to Camp Drybones so we can commune. But before the hypnosis can commence, a familiar face from long ago walks up. It's Isambard. This is the local we helped way back in the day when we were investigating those missing common folk that were being kidnapped by the false priest. So he wants our help in rescuing a bunch of pilgrims who were kidnapped after the Emulsia ambushed their caravan. You know, very, very typical. We're like, yeah, totes. You know, that's our jam. But Frey does not understand. Why should we be responsible for rescuing a bunch of people who should have armed themselves appropriately? We need to barge into an Emulsia encampment and risk our lives because this yokel said please? But we respond to Frey like, well, this is what we do. You know, and Frey's like, oh, is it? Is it what we do? I guess today it's what we do. All right, where the fuck did this caravan or did the Emulsia go? All right, then we're going there. Fine, follow me. Let's go.
Jen, I feel embarrassed for our guy. Because...
I felt so bad.
Right? Like, Isambard does not deserve our midlife crisis right now.
And immediately he's like, this is an awkward situation. And, you know, Frey just annihilated him, but it was us.
Yeah.
And now he's like, oh, I thought I knew you and I was, we're friendly and stuff. But now he's got to be like, thank you.
He's so confused, but he's like, thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll
sorry,
just shut up now.
Thank you. There needs to be like a tour, like, like AA, you go around, you apologize to everybody you hurt. We need to go do that. I felt so bad.
The Dark Knights Anonymous.
Yeah.
So we head for the Emulsia camp, and just as Isambard said, we spot the captives inside. Frey says, all right, what are you waiting for? Time to play the hero.
Time to play the hero. Get the fuck in there like you wanted.
And once more, we return to this Emulsia camp. Once again, exact same place, exact same shit. We go inside to go free some captives from the Emulsia because... our guy thinks they couldn't learn from this, chronic problem here.
Right.
Don't travel in small, unarmed groups across the fucking Eastern Battleland.
Yeah, we're just like trying to save these people from themselves. They're just not putting any effort in.
We fight through some Emulsia and we find the captives in the camp and we have to now escort them back. But Jen, I was confused here at first because I assumed it'd be a quest structure where we click the guys, they escape, they say, okay, thank you, bye, and they run away and fade into the ether.
Sure.
So I clicked the guys and I was like, okay, where's the next group? I start looking around for the next group and these guys, this is actually an escort quest, Jen.
Yeah.
So they begin heading back for the exit, and this quest commits multiple escort quest sins, and I think it's on purpose this time. I think that they're doing the worst fucking escort quest intentionally to you. These captives are so useless and dumb in this quest.
Oh, they're just getting wailed on.
So as I'm looking around for more people to save, they are walking slowly towards the exit, and then they pause at an arbitrary point. And like 3 seconds later, after they pause for no reason, Amalja spawn on them, and they are all clumped up. So the Amalja proceed to dump multiple AoEs on them. I rush over there, have to fight off the Amalja, and then these guys proceed to like amble forward 5 steps, pause, spawn, 5 steps, pause, spawn. It is the worst escort quest.
Oh, it's needling you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, they know what they're doing.
Our journal really goes great places here also, Jen. Quote, "Fortunately, the Amalja are better sport than Pisces, and the beastmen were happy to keep coming, no matter how many you slew. Frey's chuckling is infectious. You find yourself sharing his grin."
When we're done with this, Frey kind of looks us over and they're like, "Bro, you are covered in blood. That's amazing. You look hot."
Yep. And we go back to Isambard, still covered in blood, and he stutters. He is so unnerved by our presence here. And our journal here quotes Jen, "Those who have never known true sacrifice quake at the sight of it. You know this because Frey knows this."
Oh, the hints are everywhere. Yeah, so Isambard, he's presented with a person, like, who is this person? And he's still like, we come back and we're like, da-da-da, we did it. Everybody's safe. Good to see you. And he's like, okay, yeah, come back anytime. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Bye. Well, with that settled, I suppose, Frey performs communion once more. And then the voice reaches out. On a throne of bone she waits. Serve, save, slave, slay. They come to entreat her judgment. Serve, save, slave, slay. One by one, in solemn procession. This is obviously everybody who walks up to us and goes, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Hey, I need help real quick. Can you, like, somebody stole my stuff. Somebody stole my child. Can you, like, help me out?" And we're like, yep. That's what that's about. You know, the use of the word, it's like serve and save, or slave and slay. Is there really any difference here? It all starts to feel the same. It all starts to feel tedious and hopeless and monotonous and the fuck. Now we're just mad. Well, when we tell Frey what the voice said, she's like, well, I thought you were a little bit closer to the truth at this point, but I guess not. But Frey kind of regards us for a second. And she makes it clear, okay, all right. You've performed great deeds. You have saved countless people. You're a hero of the realm. But you're no Dark Knight. A Dark Knight knows that she cannot save everyone. To sacrifice is strength, and sacrifice is renouncing that which binds us. Sometimes we can't save others. Sometimes it's enough to save ourselves. We cannot carry all of these burdens unless we wish to die a slave. Damn, girl. Okay. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's a bit of an extreme take. I don't know. You feeling a little bitter? You feeling a little trapped? Yes. Yes, she is. So.
And also, at this point, Frey stumbles briefly.
There's like a, when you're watching a movie and somebody's like coughs and then look at their palm and then there's blood.
Yeah.
This is the start of that.
I can't quite tell which track this is kind of progressing along. I don't know if this is our stubbornness and refusal to give in that's weakening this like darkness, or if it's more that it's taking over us in a sense and Frey is dying, and
because it's just going to be us.
Yeah.
We don't need the projection.
Yes. So I can't tell if this is like a resistance thing or this is like a...
Yeah, I couldn't tell either.
A progression, like the cancer darkness is progressing type thing.
Yeah, it's either like There's the darkness, and then there's like, I don't know, the non-darkness. Let's call it the light inside of us. That definitely, overwhelms the darkness every other day. So it could be interpreted that it's, Frey hanging around this long is struggling to like maintain with like we're having this struggle within ourselves, and she's just getting pummeled and pummeled and pummeled when she's still she's trying to make, she's trying to like come up, and we're still attempting to suppress, and she's battling that the whole time. Could go either way.
Yep. And also, I think at this point, Frey is beginning to twist his words. He starts now preaching about sacrifice, but the sacrifice in question is that of other people, as in we let them go to their fates.
Mm-hmm.
He frames it in that we have to sacrifice that which binds us, which really is a selfish act, arguably, in this case. Like,
right.
we're sacrificing
live in a society.
Oh, my goodness. But for real, though, you could argue, and he is arguing that, hey, we have put ourselves on this pedestal voluntarily, arguably, and we have to now give up this perception of ourselves, and that are sacrificing in a way our own reputation, our own identity, whatever. And I could see that being an actual sacrifice.
Oh,
but
for sure.
It does not gel with the job description of Dark Knight. I mean that in like the employment sense, which is that we are going to be protecting the downtrodden, etc. It's now becoming something much more
completely self-serving,
selfish here. Yes.
Yeah. And our initial outburst from the very beginning when you were saving the maid from the broom, red flag. And now the red flags are everywhere.
Yeah.
And I know Frey was like, it's totally healthy. No, it's not. It really isn't. So we go back to see Frey in the broom again, and this is when the accusations start. She's not pulling any punches anymore. She's getting very frustrated with us. We haven't taken Frey's lessons to heart, as evidenced by the fact that we haven't heard the voice at all since our last communion. We listen, sure, but we're not understanding. Don't we understand that this is for our benefit? So they call us out as stubborn, and they threaten to continue the abuse until morale improves. Now get your ass to the Morrowby dry docks. So we see Frey standing at the edge of the dock. She's kind of looking out into the ocean. And she's reminded of a time she visited here with a friend, quote unquote.
Yep.
The same woman they spoke about before? Yeah. The two of them, they did something out here that was completely reckless. They almost died. She just had to get on that damn boat.
That damn Leviathan battle barge.
The Leviathan battle barge, indeed. And so just then, we overhear a man imploring a nearby member of the Maelstrom for help with something. Turns out the Maelstrom person, that's Sergeant Sternlona, she was our contact when we were doing Leviathan stuff.
Yep.
So this is an overbearing traitor. He was ambushed by Kakirn and had his goods stolen, tale as old as time. The sergeant tells him that his issue falls under the purview of the Yellow Jackets, so he needs to go talk to them. And he's like, no. And unfortunately for us, Bro notices that we're standing there. The sergeant recognizes us. She's like, oh my God, Otis, hey, we did Leviathan and it was cool and you're so cool. And the traitor was like, oh, I know you. Yeah. You're like the warrior person. Sweet. I've got this problem. And he's like, can you intervene and rectify this heinous crime perpetrated against me? I'll be ruined if I don't get my stuff back. And once again, Frey loses her shit. And this is, we revealed the twist already, but this is a major turning point at this moment right here.
So I think that the first time I played, this is when I began to catch on to the
little micro gestures, or non-gestures in this case. Because before, in retrospect, when Frey speaks, the person, the third party, looks at them like, she's a person standing there. So when we close in on Frey losing her shit, we see these yellow eyes gazing out from these thin slits in her helm. But when we cut away, and the traitor is like, whoa, you don't have to get all, like, crazy on me. He's looking at us.
Yeah.
At no point does he register Frey's presence. There's no indication whatsoever. So again, we're given a prompt here by the game. We can say like, fine, we'll do it, or not my problem. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go full Dark Knight here.
I did also.
Nice. I was like, yeah, not my problem, frankly. I mean, like, if this is a maid stolen by knights to go get, essayed in a room somewhere, that's different. This is stuff, man. Go buy more stuff. I don't know what to tell you. Arm yourself next time, bitch. But he's a savvy guy. He entices us with the promise of big, beefy prey. Because Frey also mentioned something like, I'm not going to go out there and beat down a bunch of rats, all right? Give me something worthwhile. So he's like, oh, no, there's a Kikirn out there that's like the god of all Kikirn. He's like 5 times bigger than all the other ones. Yeah. So we're like, you know what? Fine. Frey actually says like, shut up. Let's go. So we slaughtered a lot of them.
Sorry, Jen, before you press on.
Yeah.
As a player of games in general, Jen, I can also relate very much to Frey's stance here.
Sure.
Because this guy, when he sees us, he's like, oh, hey, you're that primal killer. You're killing all those primals. Hey, some rats stole my shit.
Right, exactly. Like, this is so fucking beneath us, dude.
And this step in particular reminded me of way back in the day when I was playing Fable, like the single-player RPG Fable. This was a long time ago, so I cannot vouch for my memory's accuracy,
Were
Jen.
you a young man?
I was a young man, yes, Jen. But Fable is a game whose marketing touts a highly reactive good and evil alignment system and a living adaptive world that reacts to your actions as a player. And I'm not trying to be the Fable hot take guy here, but my recollection is that the good and evil system are comic book absolutes of those ethia, and the so-called reactivity of the world mainly takes the form of cartoonishly stereotypical peasants either cheering or booing you as you stroll through town.
Sure.
And I recall being so fed up at the umpteenth, please me, Lord, my cat fell down a well, please help, type quests in both Fable 1 and 2 that I switched to evil midway through both those playthroughs.
Yeah, fuck off.
Because I was so sick of how awful the NPCs in those games were.
You attuned to your dark side.
So,
please, my lord.
My hazy recollections aside, let's proceed to the Kikirn camp.
Well, yeah, even though there is a big beefy Kikirn, this is not hard. It's actually really satisfying. I find this to be very satisfying. I'm enjoying playing Dark Knight quite a bit.
And beating up a ton of little rats in one big rat.
I hate fighting Kikirns, though, because they're so cute.
And their name is Yo-Yo-Rune Soft Hands. Not so soft now, are you?
Soft and more like dead hands?
Yeah.
Anyway, so, we kill a whole family of Kikirns so this guy can have his fucking
Don't worry,
rugs
Jen.
back.
Yo-Yo-Rune not afraid. Yo-Yo-Rune kill you and loot your loots.
Loot your loots.
Yep.
I'm going to boop your snoots is what I'm going to do. So we take the goods, get him back to the trader, and he's like, yay, you did it. But then he looks, and he's like, oh my God, what did you slaughter a Kikirn and let its blood soak through all of my stuff? Like, this is unsellable now. It's just covered in blood. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to demand some recompense here. Okay, you're not wholly responsible. I'm the one who lost that shit in the first place, but I will ask you for 50%. 50% of the value, and we'll call it even. Guess who loses their shit?
Jen.
We unleash yet more. I mean, this is verbal napalm at this point. We're just burning bridges. Well, not that we care about a trader guy, but Sergeant Luna is standing there like...
She's like, what the fuck?
What is wrong with you? So she, Frey goes off like, are you fucking kidding me? And in the midst, and this is another moment where you're like, what? In the midst of her tirade, she says, I should have left you all to drown in Leviathan's tidal wave. At least then I would have been spared your constant bloody whining. I should have left you.
Yeah.
So at this point, Sternlona interjects. She's trying to calm us down. Like, oh, Otis, madam, you have every right to be upset, but I think he understands. It's so awkward for these people. They don't know who the fuck they're talking to anymore. We're literally possessed by ourselves, but we're possessed. So then we follow Frey to the other side of the docks, and Frey's like, we can't keep doing this. you must see now what it's doing to us. What they're doing to us. These people. And we tell Frey, there's prompts. There's 3 prompts. All of them we're pretty much like deep into the sauce at this point. None of them are like, hey, chill the fuck out. They're all like, yeah, fuck 'em in some way.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So I chose one that was like the like, we know what? We don't need them to become a Dark Knight. But in a way, I mean, we do. They've helped us tap into that darkness because they fuel our rage. And again, Frey wishes that she could make us see, make us understand. Like, I can't, I just want to tell you, but I can't. All I can do is just like lead you along. Hopefully you come to the conclusion yourself, you stupid asshole. Anyway, communion begins. A chorus of voices cries out for a hero, and she comes. She smiles, she nods, and she remains silent. But she too has a voice. I will be heard, Otis, old thing. Who said that? Frey said that. We said that? Somebody said that. Was it me? It was me. We stand, and Frey tells us, we stand at the precipice. Do not be afraid. Cast yourself into the abyss. When we renounce everything, only then can we be free to do anything. Frey says there are other lands where we're unknown. We can pick up and leave here as soon as you say the word. We're fucking gone. Say adios to Eorzea. And we're like, whoa, that's...
Yeah, our body
aggressive.
Language is like shocked here.
Yeah,
we're like, whoa,
aback.
hang on.
We're like, what?
Hold the phone.
Whoa, okay.
Hold the link pearl.
And then Frey's, oh my god. And then Frey's like, you know where to find me. I know you will.
A quick break for a journal update before we proceed, Jen. Madness. Utter madness. That spineless sack of shite actually demanded compensation for his property. But Frey was not about to let that pass. It was a thing of glory, Frey giving voice to our feelings, our words tumbling from Frey's mouth.
Mm-hmm. So we return to Foundation to see Frey, but at this point, I'm not sure if I've made a decision or not, but we go back regardless. Frey takes this as confirmation that, like, we're all in. But they have, like, but Frey then has another dizzy spell, another moment of weakness where she stumbles a bit and she's shaking her head. If I never see snow again, it'll be too soon, right? So then she asks to meet us at the Gates of Judgment, hopefully before we move on to warmer climes. Hint, hint, right? We're going to pick up and move because we've pissed everybody off here. So she leaves, and this is when Frey walks away to presumably the Gates of Judgment, the game, there's a pop-up that's like, she leaves. And this is the first time I get any kind of gendered pronoun. I'm like, oh, fuck. But that's, at this point, it's like kind of all coming together, She leaves, but you don't remember in which direction. So the game is like, if you haven't gotten it by now, we're going to start spoon feeding you this stuff. And so we go, and this is where I was stupid, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to do this, but I don't go to the Gates of Judgment. I'm standing there in the broom, and it says, like, in say mode, call out for Frey. So I'm literally standing in the broom going, Frey! Frey!
Way to embody your character, Jen.
Frey, where you at?
Where you at?
And I literally typed that. Because I'm like, if there are other PCs around here, they're going to see what I'm saying. At least it's not just like, Frey, 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 in various, like, iterations of capitalizations. And like, yo, girl, where you at? Anyway, I'm like, oh, maybe I should go to the Gates of Judgment and do it there. Yes, of course. The game, I should know this by now, but I guess I was hopeful that without any sort of sparkles on the ground or other zones on the map showing me where I need to fucking go, that I could call out for Frey and then maybe something would pop up on the map. And I'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Alas.
Not in Heaven's Ward. The UI was not that sophisticated.
Correct. So I go to the Gates of Judgment, I call her name. But before she shows up, we are 2 of Lord Drillmont's knights. They run up and they're like, oh my god, it's Otis, hello. Oh my god, we need your help. They're having some issues with a bunch of giants. And I think like the way he said it, I was like, what? Like, we have a giant problem. I'm like, a giant problem of what? Oh, we have a giant problem. So they have a bunch of giants that are accosting people that are heading through Denefid Pass, and they really need us. They would like us to go in, slay the chieftain, and if the chieftain falls, then all the other giants will probably just like bail. So that's our strategy.
Jen, I wonder, because the journal entries kind of confirm that we are also drinking the Kool-Aid right now.
Yeah.
As in, like, we are down for this. And I wonder if these guys showing up kind of saves us from going off in our own direction.
Yeah.
Because our journal, after this step, it says, seizing the opportunity to exploit the good nature of the fool who could not wait for his comrade and put this nonsense behind him, the knights convince you to help. So it feels like the implication is that we might have walked off into the distance alone if these guys had not come here to, you know, they implore us, they push hard.
Yeah.
And we say, okay, fine, we'll do it after some hesitation.
Yeah, they were like, hey, we have a giant problem. And we're like, I don't know if I'm kind of busy, blah, blah, blah. But they're like, please.
Yes.
And honestly, in like the scope of things we've been asked to do thus far, this is pretty up there.
Yeah.
This is kind of a problem.
Yes, it is a problem.
It seems in line with
a
us,
regular problem for us.
Again, not a challenge, but better than saving some guy's rugs.
And as we head off for the pass, the camera cuts to Frey looking on from a short distance away, and this feels like a jilted lover.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, oh, I'm watching you cheat on me.
Oh, yeah,
Are you doing deeds?
Are you doing? What did I fucking say? Yeah, she's like, no more, enough. Which is what she says in the very beginning. This is the thing the voice says as when we first touch the stone. No more, enough.
And at this point, Frey seems to be able now to manifest a corporeal form from the jobstone, from our ether, out of our darkness. We don't really know, but she leaves us and goes off with their own autonomy to go do what they're going to do. And so we kind of spawned a ghost or something, spawned a doppelganger.
Yeah, this is a... I mean, this now, like you said, this has a corporeal form that is autonomous from us now. That's terrifying. But after we slay the giants, the knight that asks us for help, he expresses how honored he is to fight alongside us.
During this, Jen, we are seething inwardly. Journal quote, serve, save, slave, slay. You struggle to hear the words of the knight over the pounding in your head.
Ooh. I mean, and that's correct. That is the turmoil we are experiencing because our darkness has empowered itself so much that it is now on its own. And it is really, really fighting to take over. It's like right there.
Yeah. So
these knights come along at a very crucial point.
Yep.
Especially with what he says next. When he's, thank you for helping us with this. And, it's an honor to fight alongside you. And ever since the first time we visited White Brimfront, we were doing the Inquisitor shit, he's been following our career with interest. But it's not necessarily our martial prowess that sticks in his memory, but the compassion we show for our fellow man. And even the lowest of the low could find a friend in us. And we helped when there was no guarantee for fame or fortune. We did what was right. And that is something that our other half behind the darkness partition needed to hear. And then right then, a young buck runs up, a young conjurer kid. He says that Lord Drillmont is... Once word hit Lord Drillmont that we're in the area, he is demanding that we return to White Brimfront and have a conversation immediately. And the knight's looking at us like demanding, how dare you? Do you not know who this is? This is the Warrior of Light. And the young knight says, like, yep, it seems that some allegations have been made that she was witnessed talking to a corpse in the broom. And by the way, the allegations were made. And the other knight is like, that's insanity. There's nobody's believing that. But before we go, the young knight tells us that these allegations were made by temple knights, and we may be asked to surrender our weapon.
So this is triggering to us in the non-ironic sense. And we head for White Brim Front. Journal quote, nothing for it then. Journey to White Brim Front and kill them all. In the parade grounds, we see knights lying on the ground all around Frey. Some wounded, some still. At this point, it's not fully clear what we are seeing versus what onlookers are seeing. Frey is acting autonomously. I don't know if they're seeing Frey as we see him, though, or like they're seeing a doppel Warrior of Light, or what.
I feel like they're seeing... We see Frey. I feel very confident that what they're looking at is a dark version of us.
Yes.
And yeah, we're standing in the middle of a pile of bodies in various stages of injury. And this time, the people that we're with, they're looking at dark us.
Yes. So
and they can hear us speaking.
Yes. And they hear us conversing, more importantly, with them.
Yeah.
And it's telling, though, because when Frey left us physically, we lost our kind of inner biting retorts. We're silent.
We're right back to our old...
But now, though, Frey is here, and Frey says what we were thinking just then. Mm-hmm. Surrender your weapon. After what happened in Ul'dah, they must be mad. And pay attention. This could be the greatest moment of our life.
Our life.
That
singular.
Is if you could stop denying the truth that's been staring you in the face since the moment we met. Say my name. Say it. My real name. Our real name. We hesitate, and he presses. Come now. You knew Frey was dead from the beginning, but you didn't care. You got a sword and a soul crystal, but what you wanted was a mentor. Busted. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, we see a soul crystal, we want to use that fucking thing.
Like, I'm just gonna take that.
Yep. A mentor with the gifts and the knowledge. A dark knight who could guide you on the path. Who you could aspire to become. A man who is free to say and do the things you would not. Even now, you continue to deny it. Well, deny me all you want. You cannot deny what you have done.
So cool. And again, a lovely little, after what happened in Ul'dah, I mean, at this point, if you still weren't, like, getting it, that's another little hint, right?
Yeah,
like,
a little hint.
How would she know? What's funny is, like... is Kathy going to do a poll on the Discord? It's like, okay, rate your mentor, Dark Knight. S tier.
Frey goes on. Have I not been good to you? Have I not given you everything I promised? Did I not help you hear the whispers of our very soul? Open your eyes. Look. Do you see now? Do you see? His eyes glow orange, and he transforms into us, blazing orange eyes. Clad in some sick-looking Dark Knight armor.
It's pretty sick.
Which is probably far cooler than our armor with our hodgepodge.
Oh, that's not hard to do. The armor set that I got afterwards, I'm like, this is adjacent to garbage can.
Yes, you get the garbage can armor as the quest reward.
Yep, it's marginally cooler than garbage can, but it's...
Everything up to now has been your story, and everything after now will be mine. And we now do battle with ourself. And the dark version of us has a new name. Esteem.
Esteem.
The main bummer of this quest line is the final fight is not difficult. If someone had a different experience, I'm not trying to detract from that, but it felt to me more like an interactive cutscene than like an actual climactic battle, which serves the purpose for sure, but also... it does not feel like Esteem is a hard win either.
I wish it was more like Ratatan.
Yeah.
Where they we home gang ourselves or something similar.
That'd be super sweet.
That would have been so fucking cool. A cage of darkness and we have to fight to, shit like that.
And also, it would probably help the emotional beats of this cutscene if we were more imperiled also.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, we have people that we've met along our journeys.
Yep.
Basically rush out to encourage us to beat down this, like,
including,
poisonous,
Lord Drillmont himself comes out and is like,
we believe in you!
Yeah. So that's what I mean by interactive cutscene, because we begin the fight and we're fighting a steam and we're dodging AoEs, killing a few dark sprites, nothing special. But very soon early on, after a steam gives us some cutting remarks, Lord Drillmont himself comes out and calls out to us, "Pull yourself together, Warrior of Light. You are stronger than this." And Esteem is not a fan. Friends, really? This is a private affair and you know it. But it's not. We get many knights hopping out of the woodwork here to support us in this battle, and we're able to defeat Esteem with their help. There's like a conjurer out there as well healing us. It's like a full squad.
Yeah,
coming to our
the little
defense.
knight that ran up and was like, Lord Drillmont wants to see you. He's healing us.
Yep.
It takes a village.
And with their aid, we force Esteem to take the knee. Esteem says, "It would seem I underestimated myself, but no matter. They have borne witness to the darkness within us, to what lies beneath the mask." And that may be true, but they don't care. Because the entreating voices of our support speak to us now. They cry, "Listen to us. We will never forsake you, no matter what. We know who you are, Warrior of Light. We know, and so do you." Esteem tries to salvage the situation ineffectually. A fantastic display of willful ignorance. Wipe the slate clean. Forgive and forget. Convince yourselves that he can be controlled. The Warrior of Light, our weapon of light. It isn't too late. We can still be free.
We look at our dark self and we come to an understanding and we know what we must do and we reach out for that final communion.
And we appear back to back in a black void. Inside us, presumably. And Esteem speaks. He's standing behind us, not looking at us, just speaking over our shoulder. "So this is your answer. Listen to my voice. Listen to our heartbeat. Listen. If this is how it must be, then so be it. But know that when you tire of this charade, I shall be here, waiting to take the reins. You need only ask." Our senses return to Whitebrim, and the knights around us are relieved that we seem to be in control once more. And Lord Drillmont, knowing the alternative, pledges his soldiers to silence. They will keep the secret of what happened here, and trust that we have defeated our darkness. And we have, at least for now. The end.
They also say that they will inter our friend with full rights, meaning the corpse we've been talking to. Frey probably isn't even their name.
That's unclear to me, actually, about that, because I don't think they're referring to Frey, who's still up in the broom, presumably, unless the Temple Knights burned him after they got creeped out by us. I feel like the corporeal Frey become Esteem is a separate body. It's not clear. Nothing confirms this.
It's confirmed because in my playthrough, if it was the corporeal form that we just murdered, then it would be, we will bury her, but it's, we will bury him.
Oh,
so it's
interesting.
It's the OG knight that we've been talking to this whole time.
Huh.
Yeah. It was confirmed a dude.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, great. That's fantastic, Jen. Way to bring that to light. Good job.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long episode, Jen, and I think that we got all of our stuff out during the action, unless you have final comments.
No, I agree. We kind of brought all that shit up as we were talking about it. So
all that
final
shit.
Thoughts. Honestly, we had a bunch of front thoughts.
Yeah, that too. Thoughts
so
throughout.
If you want some final thoughts, go to the beginning of the episode and get our final thoughts.
Then go to the end for the outro. I guess final thought, Jen. I fucking love Esteem's sword. When you defeat Esteem,
yeah,
you see that thing thunk down into the cobbles, I don't know, and I don't want to know. I think this is probably the level 60 artifact weapon for Dark Knight. And I'm going to do the request with Dark Knight regardless, and I'm going to chase that dragon being the sword. And I will find out if I am going to be fulfilled or disappointed. No spoilers. But that sword looks so fucking sick.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So next time, we're, of course, doing Dark Knight Part 2. So we will see you then.
And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. And oh, who's stealing some pineapples next to the sea? Yo, you ruined soft hands.
Wow. Good work, Jen.
Serpent, Frayin.
Bloody.
Bloody. Oh, rip.
Yes.
If you want to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com. We are on the Blue Sky at podreturnffxiv. Check the show notes for our Discord. You can hop in there and be cool with a bunch of cool people. You can join us for like group runs and stuff. It's a great time. We'd love to have you. Check it out. Also in the show notes is a link to our TeePublic page where we have an shirt that Levi did the graphic on, and it's super cute. So if you want a shirt, I don't know, or a tote bag or something, I don't know, check it out. And last but not least, our Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. And for $1 a month, you get access to all the peripheral stuff that we do. That includes the seasonal events from 14. We talk about the tabletop RPG, the Magic the Gathering cards, kind of anything else that pops up. And then for $2 a month, you get access to our bonus series. This season, we're doing Final Fantasy VI. I'm playing it, and I'm talking to Levi about it because I've never played it before. It should be a good time, so check it out. And with that, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good day or night, and we will see you next time.